Consumerism is all about what human beings consume for either survival or desire. At least, this is what I thought before engaging into deeper analysis of what is consumption. Consumption can have an economic, cultural, and emotional meaning attached to it, and is much more than just buying a product. I always consume products because I believe I needed it. For instance, if I see a beautiful watch at a jewelry shop, I automatically think that I need it because my other watches got old. After coming across Twitter's article, Leaders into Temptation, the Triumph of American Materialism, I realized that everything I consider to be my need are just things that I want, and how I'm being manipulated by brand publicities and social media trends to believe that I need a specific product. I understood that our needs are just for the basic food, shelter, and clothing, but as soon as we have the opportunity to choose what to wear or where to eat, it is no more a need but a want. Also, whatever I consume has a cultural connection behind. What I wear or what I eat is not necessarily what everybody else consumes. For instance, if eating a plate full of rice in Mauritius is considered as a norm, in Europe, they eat less of it, but they might probably think we are not eating healthily. But again, it is all about the culture and tradition of the country. As latest concept of semiotic in The Meaning of Things in 1997 says, any point of view, habits, or lifestyle will differ according to the culture of an individual. If one has been socialized to think that the consumption of dogs is normal, someone else may see it as a taboo. This buying and selling of products is what created the consumer society we are living in today. While long ago it was in the form of exchange of goods among citizens in a society, now it is all about money exchange. People earn money and spend it on goods that they need or desire. But however, it is not just about buying or consuming. People nowadays like consuming quality products, and some do it either for durability or simply to vent out their social status. Fairchild, in Pop Idols and Pirates, Mechanisms of Consumption and the Global Circulation of Popular Music in 2008, talks about the attention economy, which signifies that people consume branded products only to attract attention. We can see that brands nowadays are no more only companies producing quality materials, but they are associated with the personalities of individuals, especially in Western society. For example, a girl who consumes from Gucci might be viewed as a fashion icon, or a boy who dresses in Calvin Klein is one who wants to project himself as one sexy. When I analyze it, I can associate myself to this concept. I buy products from ASOS or Fashion Nova, or clothes from my mother's shop because of the assured quality. However, I do not do it to attract, but just because I do not like wearing common clothes that I might risk seeing on someone else when going out. So, I shall say that Fairchild is right in what he says about attention economy, but it also depends on the consumer and his personality. Because, for example, we have rich people in the world who simply love simple things, and their consumer habits do not depend on their social status. Western societies are the most easily ones to be influenced by adverts, and they are more likely to consume the messages being propagated through these adverts easily. Featherstone, in The Body in Consumer Culture in 1992, says that the human body has been objectified as a marketing strategy for the selling of goods. This is because humans care about their body the most. No one wants to grow old and have wrinkles, and this is why brands use this as a psychological manipulation to encourage people to buy their products. Apart from health, the body is used as a sexual tool to attract attention of the sexes and appeal to them to certain products. For example, the Axe campaign for launch of Lynx Angel in 2010 used women's body decorated as angels falling from the sky to a man who is wearing Axe perfume on him. What we can deduce from this advert is that by using female bodies, they want to attract the male gaze and project the ideology that an axe makes a man macho. So, they're playing with the sexual appeal of men to make them buy the product. Similarly, with the American famous brand Victoria's Secret forced to harsh training over their models who need to have a perfect body figure while posing or walking in lingerie for the fashion shows. This is transmitting an illusion that wearing underwear from this brand will ensure the consumer total sexiness like these models walking down the aisle. Featherstone has enabled me to realize how people are being manipulated and brainwashed to think they need things that they do not actually need, including me. I took 5 minutes and reflected on my consumer habits and how I am being influenced by the trends I see on social media. Unfortunately, this might help me to be more vigilant in the future. In the world we're living today, consumption has taken a drastic importance. But let us imagine a world where consumption did not exist. When I reflect on that, I realize that without consumption, humans will not have been who they are today. And according to me, it is impossible to live in a society without consuming. Consumption has been present ever since the early civilization, earlier than the medieval age, up to the millennium era. If today consumption is done for money exchange, long ago it was in terms of exchange of goods that family produce at home. I believe if we need to imagine a world without consumption, we will have to go back in time when the first cavemen were on the planet. A time where everything was still jungle and the only rule that kept life ongoing was that of the survival of the fittest. At that time, the needs of these individuals were basic. For instance, any piece of leaf or animal leather will cover their body were used. Or when they were hungry, they will hunt the first eligible animal passing by. According to Richens, inside consumption, consumer motives, goals and desires in 2005, different peoples have different desires which influence the way they consume. I believe that the desires of an individual or the way he consumes highly depends on the personality of the person itself. For instance, if someone loves luxury and extravagance, he will likely spend more money to buy vegetables in the hypermarket than going to the local market. Here, we can make a link between my analysis of the statements of Timothy, shopping, tourism, late retailing, and leisure in 2005. But how the spaces and infrastructures of a place creates a psychological impact on the consumer, thus making them want to consume at that specific place. For example, my grandmother would likely go buy vegetables at the market even if the surrounding is not pleasing and has a very bad smell. But me, as someone who visits the mall of Bagatelle very often, I find it pleasing and relaxing to shop in the food lovers market even if I will have to pay a small amount more. This is because infrastructures of this place give me a good experience and make me feel it is. When taking into consideration Richens' taxonomy of consumer goals, I realize that I fall in 3 of the categories. Firstly, I consume in order to fit in the society, to find my place, a name, and a unique personality, but I also like adding my own little touch. For instance, compared to other students, I am at the same time a journalism and cinematography student, but I'm also a violinist and currently working on my own book. This little touch allows me to distinguish myself from others, as well as to find a name for myself and integrate in. I also perceive myself as a controlling consumer, that is, I do not let myself be easily influenced by trends or what social media is projecting, and in this way, I consume only products that at the end is benefiting me in a way. According to Alan Rubin in his article Audience Activity and Media Use in 1993, he talks about different types of audience. We have the active audience, that is, those who refuse to simply accept without question any information transmitted to them. And there is passive audience, who are those who simply inculcate everything they are told or showed. I personally identify myself as an active audience because I refuse to accept everything I see or hear, whether on TV or on social media, without having my personal opinion on it. For example, nowadays we have a trend on social media where everyone wants to be a brand ambassador. That is, the company proposes them certain amount of discount. In return, the person has to post pictures with their product and market their brand. For media users, it is a feeling of pride and superiority to represent a brand. But I have very different perception of these things. I refuse to get involved in these marketing strategies because I do reflect on the amount of profit and recognition these brands are making on one person's head, and in exchange, these ambassadors are receiving only 20 or 50% off. Usually brands have to pay a lot of money to market their products through media outlets like radio, but it is just that through social media, they have found a better and cheaper way to make money by manipulating people into a fallacy of superiority, and I refuse to become one of them. I also think that the reason I am an active audience also depends on my personality and identity. Jill Valentine explains in his article Eating in Home, Consumption and Identity in 2001 that the way someone consumes, whether cooking, shopping, etc., depends on that person's identity, the way he has been brought up, and his family status. My reflection above has been all about how my knowledge about consumption has gotten deeper. The module helped me to understand my own consumption practices, which I was not even aware of, or I never really thought about what kind of audience I am. Overall, consumption is an important human practice present in the entire globe. It is just that each one of us have different ways of doing it. If we think about it, even animals and plants consume, but in their own way.